Hey there, y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight. Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. All right, y'all, the message today is passionate truth. I love when cards come out and I'm like, oh, fuck. Only 6 cards came out today, and of those 6, 4 of them are major arcanas. So we are all at a major destiny point right now, and so much of it is rooted in our passion and rooted in our truth. So the first cards that came out were the Magician and it's a Jack, but it's the Knight of Fire, the Knight of Wands reversed. And so what I was getting from this, like, the Magician is so powerful, and it's the number 1 major arcana. It's about initiating what you really want, understanding that you have the power to focus and really create whatever it is that you want. But with this Knight of Wands reversed, it's like there's a lack of passion. And so sometimes it makes me think like, well, and then I'll just skip ahead, because then we got, and this like landed on the floor, like I'm next. I'm clarifying this. The Ace of Swords, the Ace of Air. So this is clarifying your truth. And this was like wanting to clarify all of this energy. And so, but when I was first looking at this, I was like, there just feels like a lack of passion with this Knight of Wands reversed. So with all this power, but what do you do with it? And so then this clarifying, the reason I wanted to jump to this is, it's like a lot of readings is taking your power back from indoctrination, from programming, from believing that that the only way is the defined reality that was created by others. And it's funny because we get a lot of mixed messages, You can do whatever you want in life. But then when that goes to application, then we get feedback. You'll never make a living doing that. Or, well, you know what I think you should do. And oftentimes there's a lot of guilt or manipulation. People being well-meaning, thinking, no, you've got to follow this formula. You get straight A's, you you go to college, you do all the things, and you do it exactly the way it's been defined for you, because that's safe and that's acceptable. And if you don't do that, then you're a loser or whatever it is. Again, it's like, but I thought I could do whatever, I thought I could achieve my dreams. So again, there's a lack of passion when you've got all this power, but you feel like expected to, and maybe even guilty to, put it in a direction that doesn't resonate with your truth. And so right now it looks like, especially with all these major arcanas, there is a huge opportunity for you to declare your truth and find what you're actually passionate about and move in that direction, whether it's safe, whether it's approved of by others, whether it's found acceptable. Why be dead inside to meet the approval of others? And like my favorite saying is, there's not an honest fucking thing about conformity. Because there's not, And I just love to say it, if I have to put on a facade, if I have to pretend to be something in order to receive the acceptance of others, and it's really hard, like, whoa, and then I lose my voice right then. So like really blocking your throat chakra if you're not speaking your damn truth, man. And what I was going to say is, like, it can be really hard, especially when it concerns loved ones. It feels, I'm getting a lot of loved ones kind of energy coming through this reading. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes, for some reason, we care about what strangers on the street think of us more than what we think of ourselves. But it's really hard when we want to meet the approval of parents or even children or whatever, family members and friends. Again, I love the 4 agreements. That, man, we're all gonna sit and read the 4 agreements together. How about that? No, but it's the domestication of the planet, but everybody's living in their own dream anyway. And so, unless somebody really knows you, and by knows you, they know your heart, they know what you want, and maybe they encourage you to follow your bliss, follow your passion. Mostly you're just a projection in other people's minds. And so don't worry about their approval. And, if you have to wear a facade in order for these people to approve of you, cut to the chase. They don't approve of you. So let them fuck off along their merry way. I do like the F word. No, but yeah, everybody can fuck off in love. Because I just want to say you're too important. All these major arcanas. So you've got the Magician and this Ace of Swords, 2 ones right here. It's a huge opportunity for you to initiate change. And then the last 3 cards all came out together, major arcanas, but the way they wanted to set themselves, the way they landed, we've got the Tower on one side, and then we've got the Star on the other side. And these were like overlighting this energy. And so, sequentially, the Star comes after the Tower. This is where beliefs fall apart. This is where reality falls apart. And I know there are a lot of people, myself included, we're going through major, major change where it feels like aspects of life have totally fallen apart. And, this can be outer realities, jobs, relationships, but it can also be inner realities, facing your own shadow, facing your own truths, taking accountability. But I think taking accountability, it needs to have a balance on both sides. Because yes, if you fuck up, take accountability. And some people absolutely refuse to ever take accountability. They must find a scapegoat. They will fight growth at all turns. You can be that person. You can be, but you have a choice. You don't have to be that person. You can say, yeah, this is self-sabotage, or yeah, I'm being codependent and giving my power away, or yeah, whatever. I keep blaming others because I don't want to look at my own behavior or my own beliefs or my own insecurities. But on the other hand, it's also taking accountability for I don't know, it's like shifting the lens, shifting the facet of yeah, it's not going to happen unless I make it happen. Again, that's the second time in a couple days that my Aunt Nina's saying came up. If it's to be, it's up to me. And it's the truth. If it's to be, it's up to you. Sorry, I got too much smoke in my lungs this morning. But I keep getting this throat thing. So it's really important for you to declare your truth. And as I look down, I wasn't going to go to the cards underneath the Tower and the Star, but I can't help but notice with the Ace of Swords and then underneath the Star, we've got the 10 of Swords. And again, 10s indicate the completion of a cycle. 1 + 0 = 1. It is time to initiate something new. With this card, how many times does a person have to stab you in the back before you recognize they only have knives for you? Sometimes you're the one with the knives. Knives being words, knives being thoughts, knives being beliefs. How many times do you have to get stabbed in the back before you recognize whatever this is really is killing you? It's not an opportunity. It's not founded in your truth. And a lot of times this can speak about a loop, going back into situations, getting back with people who, you already know they've already hurt you enough, or the situation or the belief or whatever. But there's this belief that you have something to prove here. And so I just want to say, they know what you want. And, the way they know what you want is because oftentimes when you're ready to change and move in a new direction, they'll tell you everything you want to hear. So they know what you want. But when they get you back into that loop, that timeline, they show you they don't give a shit what you want. They want things to stay the same, and they want to keep it toxic because they have some sort of dominance in there. And that's where we get into people can be very parasitic. We ourselves have to look at ourselves. Are we being manipulative? Are we being parasitic in any way, trying to control situations, trying to control other people? So it's again, it's a to and fro, recognizing, am I doing this? But also recognizing, wow, this is what's happening. And I can choose to walk away from this and move towards my truth. And again, wow, I didn't see that. And then we've got this, this Knight of cups. I want to say hearts because it's that, but owls are so sacred. I mean, every being, beavers are sacred too, but owls are very sacred to me. But, and I love that we've got fire and water here this night. So there's this energy of moving towards the heart. And again, passionate truth, moving towards your passionate truth. And so it's like having a willingness to change, but that means oftentimes everything comes crumbling down. It was beautiful. I did a reading for a lady the other day, and it affected her so much. She came back yesterday and told me like she totally felt the truth. She just needed validation. And I love that when you can validate yourself and say, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do when all this crumbles, but I just know I'm not going to stay in this energy anymore. And so it all comes crumbling down, but then you've got the star after that. And it's so much about healing. It's so much about allowing the cycles to end, allowing the loops to end, and getting clear about the truth of what would be fulfilling for you. Normally the star has a naked woman on it, and that speaks to transparency. I've got nothing to hide. And as I said that, there was 11:11 on the timer. So I've got nothing to hide, and it's about having a clear vision about what is true for you, what makes your heart sing. Sing, yeah. All right, so giving yourself permission to be true to yourself, first and foremost. And then the next card, the Hierophant came out on its side, and it was crossing the Magician, like totally landed that way. And so again, that gives clarifying to that whole giving your power away to belief systems outside of yourself, whether it's family traditions, whether it's religions, whether it's politics. And I recognize it can be very scary to defy that. We all have some element of codependency, maybe not all, but pretty much all of us. But the more we learn to recognize codependency, and the more we learn to say, wow, this doesn't feel good in my body. This definitely confuses my mind. It definitely hurts when you feel that you have to acquiesce to some outside beliefs or indoctrinations or people please loved ones, and if their love is, conditional upon you doing what makes them happy, and their love isn't founded in watching you succeed or fail, but doing what makes you happy and loving you just for who you are and truly wanting to know who you are, allowing, supporting that, you can give your power away to that. Again, you can. I never want to come right out and say, don't do this. You can do this, but know that you don't have to. You can be true to yourself. You don't have to be fake to please other people, And it's a journey, but it starts with taking a step across the threshold of opportunity. And right now it looks like you have a major, major opportunity to truly look in the mirror and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. I accept you no matter what. I believe in you. I approve of you no matter what. No matter what, I've got you. Look in the mirror and say that to yourself every fucking day, as often as you can. Yeah, I got that from Louise Hay, but do that as often as you can. And then here's what I like to end with. You're always going to be fucking challenged, man. Life is about challenge. Life is about growth. We are on this earthly plane to play the game, but it's about evolution. It's about learning. It's about the experience. It's all a fucking game, man. It seems really serious, and there's moments where the pain is too intense to believe I would intentionally come play this game, but here we are. But when you start to recognize that where you put your focus, how's that saying? Where your focus goes, the energy flows. And look at what you can energize and empower in your life. And so often just the simple things in the moment, you know, smell flowers at the grocery store. Better yet, smell flowers in a garden, but now we're getting to the time of year. But you can find some flowers at the grocery store. Look up at the sky, you know. Let the sun hit your forehead and just receive the light. Touch the ground, you know, get down, touch the ground, do some earth and take your shoes off, hug a tree, sit on a rock, listen to the wind in the trees. Like really establish a visceral connection to the natural world and recalibrate yourself, and then find appreciation everywhere. And then find the clarity of the truth of what you're passionate about, what is truly fulfilling. And then I like to end, because the Hierophant upright, my favorite definition of the Hierophant is a person who translates the sacred mysteries. And I always got to say it twice. A Hierophant is a person who translates the sacred mysteries. You are the Hierophant. You are the teacher. And when you're being true to yourself, you may find that you establish this divine flow, this divine connection. You know, it's easier, I think, in art to really connect with that. But even being in the energy of an artist, you know, when you're listening to music that you really love, that really creates a connection to the music, that's divine. When you're making music, when you're singing or painting or dancing, when you're truly connected to the moment, to the fluidity, the movement, writing can take you there. Again, meditating can take you there. Sometimes walking, listening to the birds, doing whatever you love. Some people really connect to the flow of math when they're really figuring out the problem. It's whatever puts you into that flow state. You've got that stream of consciousness. You're connected to the flow of the divine. Everything is flow. All is flow. So allow yourself to flow in your truth. And I love that he is doing this sacred dance. Dance is flow. He is flowing in the energy of spirit, but connecting his authentic truth, his purity. He has nothing to hide. And you can be this dancer. You are the magic. All right. Once again, my name is Fairlight. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like a palm reading, tarot reading, or astrology reading from me, feel free to hit me up. I am doing Thanksgiving specials. I'll even be doing it past Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving's this Thursday. So yeah, just, you can find it. It's actually in my Calendly link, which is all over my social media. But if you are in doubt, feel free to hit me up. Slide into my DMs to book a reading. All right, that's all I have for today. Peace and love. Until next time.